Welcome, Strategy Battle Gamers, to another week's edition of Speak, Friend and Question. You are here with your host, GBHL James.
GBHL Jamie, and we'll get into it.
Let's get into it. Okay, we're going to aim to have this done under an hour. Now remember, it's Speak, Friend and Question. We do have a rule, don't we, Jamie?
Yep, if we answer your question, you've got to ask another one next week, and you've got to answer or ask a question before Thursday morning.
Before Thursday morning. So I have just given people on the Facebook group a last chance because I've just come to pick you up. We're starting earlier today because we want to get loads of content done for you guys.
Yep.
We're not running out, but we've got a good amount from when we went to the tournament the weekend, didn't we?
Yeah, we have.
Okay, first question is from Camille Demansky. Hi guys, first comment at last. Is this a YouTube thing?
Yeah, it is. First, well, it's just a general internet thing. Be able to get first and second comments.
Interesting.
It's like I was there when before anyone else commented or saw it.
It's an interesting phenomenon which is new to me. I didn't know what to ask you, but after watching Liverpool winning a game, not very good. I finally got a question. Can I upgrade my goblins from Goblin Town with bows or shields? No, I don't think.
No, they can't. They've got no option for war gear, unfortunately.
They've got two-handed weapon.
Oh, two-handed. Yes, yeah, that's right.
They've got two-handed weapon, but apart from that, no. If no, does that mean I can only do upgrades which are in the profile?
Yes.
Yeah, definitely, buddy. Bring back the scouring of YouTube. By the way, Kevin is not my brother. Oh, Kevin Demansky. Is he a relative of any kind? Of interest? Bring back the scouring of YouTube. Let's have a little think. A few people have told, I don't know if you've seen, but they said that the reason why they didn't do the scouring is because I only put it up as an annotation, not a link.
Mobile users can't get annotations, yeah.
That's right.
That's good to know. I didn't realise
Didn't know that.
they couldn't see annotations.
I didn't know that either. So thanks for that, buddy, and we'll go on to the next question.
Ramsey Asa, is there any difference between a Gundabad Orc General and a Gundabad Orc Captain? Been painting my bold/general for a while watching this, and it got me thinking. Thanks again, guys. No?
No, not so far. There's no additional profile that's come out. So
it's just a different model that you can use if bold was still around.
Yeah,
at that time.
Nice model as well.
Yeah.
Okay, next question. We got Patrick Burmeyer. Do you guys have a Thranduil's Halls list for Deadliest Warband?
Not in this one. Sorry. Yeah, it wasn't really out when we made Deadliest Warbands, and I don't really fancy changing the sort of It requires another list to be made to play against it.
Of course it does. Yeah. If not, I think you guys should add them. Maybe in next seasons.
Yeah.
Also Dol Guldur maybe, like spiders or whatnot. That'd be cool to see too. Even if they aren't the most competitive, it's really cool to see the pure army list at the small scales. You can really see the differences. Cheers, guys.
See, I think that Ranger list could actually be quite competitive in Deadliest Warband, because you get, what, about maybe 6 guys in there, so 7 bows, including your captain. And the Ranger captain's a nice little troop, especially with that low points when someone's charging in and you can get sort of like 5 attacks when he gets surrounded.
Yeah, I think that they could do quite well.
Yeah.
I don't know whether they'd be, because another thing that we've noticed is defence.
Yeah,
has been really important.
At that small points, just being able to survive the hit. So I think the elves would drop quickly, but the captain would stick around for a while.
Yeah, doing a lot of damage.
Yeah.
Because, you know, you try and cram things in on him, he's getting more attacks. He's like, come on, let's have it.
Let's
have it. Next up, we've got Kurt Leach.
In the DOS book, Thranduil has 2 spells which count as being channelled. No, they don't. They count as... You can channel them if you spend might. But does he have more spells in the Free People's book? Nope. He has the same 2 spells. I don't know because I can't get the book as it's out of stock. And James, if you do make a GBHL song, you should play it during one of your fitness classes.
I don't think that's a good idea. I think a GBHL song might be a good idea at some point.
I don't.
I think you should be well in on that. Jamie, sunglasses, doing his... Under my GBL, hello. No?
No, not from me.
Maybe one day.
But yeah, his profile's pretty much exactly the same, except in the Free People's book you don't have the option to take bow or cloak, or bow or armour, you just pay for it straight up.
Next up, we've got the infamous... Hey Cha-Cha Master. Hi guys, how do you use monsters like trolls? Should they be troop killers or hero counters? So we'll start off with that part of the question.
Yep. It depends on the on the troll. If it's a cave troll, I'd send it in against troops. If it's a Mordor troll, I'd send it against troops, but try and put it near a hero,
Mm-hmm.
so you can always jump on them. I'm thinking big heroes like Aragorn and people.
Yeah, good call. Where to position them, and some general tips on them. Also, when is the best time to use their special attacks and against whom?
Okay.
Good to get monsters on flanks and stuff.
Monsters on flanks is good because you can hurl down the line.
And because your own flank as well. So
Yeah.
it means that enemy forces are less likely to
try and push around.
Mm-hmm.
Rend, you want to use against something like Kazagard or Fountain Court, who've got high defense but low strength. Just make it easier on yourself. And
Or
big
heroes.
heroes. Well, as we say, mainly Rend is for heroes. Put all your 3 dice against them. Wounded on 3s rather than sort of 5s or even 6s at that level.
Mm-hmm.
It's good. And then hurl. I tend to use it if the opponent was defense 5 or less. So everyone who passes through is skilled on a 5 rather than on a 6, because it's a bit of a if they're defense 6 or more, at least you get to knock them over for your mainstay troops to get a double strikes on them.
Yep.
And then barge is probably the least used one, but you use it to sort of push through to a weak hero like a shaman support or your Baragons, who are skulking in the second rank.
Hell yeah. All good advice there. I would agree with all of that. And to the second question, what is the most effective way to kill a monster? As always, cheers from Poland. So killing a monster.
Kill a monster, you either want to surround it and transfix or immobilise it, is probably the safest way. The other way is to surround it and heroic strike against it and hope to kill it with that heroic strike and get all your extra dice in.
Yeah, good to get lots of dice on it.
Strength 4 is usually the way to go with monsters. And if you've got the axes, pierce and strike to make it even easier on yourself.
Definitely. Good answers. Next up, we've got Quinn Duggan.
We missed his question last time. I checked and we definitely did miss his question.
Easy done. In the van, in a car park.
In a van, in 2 phones that are on very low battery, we're just whizzing through.
But we do apologise.
So apologies, I found your question and copied it up. So, Quinn's question from last week was, my question is, I'm coming to the destination of Stockport and I'm only 13, so can you clear up anything that might affect this? Well, you're going to need a parent or someone, or a responsible guardian over the age of 18 to come with you, because 1, alcohol is served there, and 2, you need parental supervision if you're under the age of 16.
Also, I'm making a 500 point Rivendell Knight list, and this is what I have so far. 12 Rivendell Knights led by Elrond on horse with heavy armour, and all in all that is 444 points. What do you think I should add? Lindir.
Yeah, if you drop sort of 4 shields and maybe you drop 1 guy, add Lindir on horse with armour. He makes Elrond sort of a really decent hero because he is essentially giving him a free will point every turn and makes them all resistant to magic when he moves.
It should be good fun.
Yeah.
I think it'll be a good fun list. Just posting this.
Me.
Oh, right, yeah, that's you.
I'm just posting this here ready for next week's recording.
Fantastic. So next up we got Kurt Leach. And guys, there was no link with the scouring of YouTube. I just did it on the one where he says thanks for the scouring.
That's for the Lord of the Rings SPG.
That's right. So apparently the link, the annotation doesn't come up on mobile devices.
Yeah, we'll make sure to put it in the description in future as well.
Yes, we will.
Yeah.
Next up.
So we've got Barry O'Neill. Thanks again for the answer this week. Not so much for an SPG question, but as I will be attending your tournament and I'll be arriving in Stockport around 5 o'clock on Friday afternoon, what do you recommend I do with myself for the evening? And do you want to just sit around in the hotel? Yeah, we're going to be at at the Northwest Gaming Centre.
All day.
All day, getting some sort of beers in, getting some games in, so...
We're doing lots of recording, and there's a massive list of people who are going to be coming down, and we can only play...
X amount of people, but hopefully there'll be more people there to just get some games going.
Have some practice games, have a few drinks. We're going to have a couple of drinks in the evening on Friday evening.
Yeah.
Not too many because we want to be prepared.
I'll be ready to excel it up.
Yeah.
It's numbers for you.
Yeah, numbers. I'm going to be numbers. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to go around offering people tea and beer.
Yeah. See, I was thinking yesterday. I was walking home. I was like, oh, numbers. What a stupid thing for it. So I thought, what else have they got? Word for it's Microsoft Word, isn't it, for the text document? I was like,
yes, it is.
Well, I'll just shut up.
Yeah, Barry, you'll have to come for a drink with us, come for some games on the Friday. If you email ilovewargaming@gmail.com, I'll add you to the sort of list of who we're trying to get through playing wise.
Yeah.
And what we'll probably do is we'll time our games, film them, and then at the end of it we'll just see what it happens. So we'll do games which kind of work well for that situation.
Yeah.
Ones that probably won't end in a draw.
Yeah. Lords of Battles, isn't it?
Lords of Battle's a good one.
Lords of Battle's a straight up fight to the death.
To the death can end in a draw though, can't it?
Yeah.
Anyway, okay, next up we've got David Lowe. Say a painting a Necron Lord, but you guys have got me thinking, it's time I start a new SBG project. It's always SBG time. I'm considering an Army of Dale, Erebor Army of Thor, and wondered if you have any advice for a noob. Love what you guys are doing for the game. Keep up the good work. Thanks very much, David.
Oh, he says, P.S. I've just done a belated scouring, even though it's taken a while for me to spot the link as it wasn't in the description.
Yeah, see, it's a common theme. That would be my... Oh, no.
Yeah.
You.
Whoa. No, you recorded.
No, you recorded.
No.
It was your main camera in the van.
It was me, yeah. But there was no scouring last week, was there? It wasn't
Oh,
that
no,
one.
that's right. There was no scouring because of the previous weeks.
Oh, whose fault is it now, eh?
Yeah, probably mine. Can't remember. Probably mine. Sorry. Sorry. I was saying, what was his question? Army of Thor, Army of Dale.
Any advice for a noob on the Army of Thor and Dale?
Dwalin.
Sorry. Dwalin on pony, Thorin on pony with the Oaken Shield and Alt Crest. They're two awesome heroes. And Balin's a cheap one to get your numbers up.
Yeah, get your Erebor.
Just Erebor dwarves. No Grimhammers are really needed unless you like the models, but lots of people are using them for conversions.
Yeah, so you have your front rank of Erebor dwarves, and then you have your rear rank with Erebor dwarves with the spears. Make sure they've all got shields if you can afford it, and if you want some bow support, maybe get your Dale in there.
They'll come in with the bow and spears, don't they?
Yeah.
That's what I'd do if I was to build a force like that.
Yeah, bow and spears from Dale, maybe led by Balin, because he's cheap.
Yeah.
Cheap way of getting them in. Does the turn priority thing. So I hope that helps, and good luck with your Necron Lord. Next up
we got Frida. Hey guys, I'm curious about how much time per week you guys spend working on the channel, film, editing, planning, and how much time you spend working on the hobby on your own, like little fun games, list building, painting, sculpting, etc. per week. I love the Bayonne release, and I'm very happy I didn't buy the original Bayonne model. Other than that, if they were a little less expensive, I would pick up the rest of the new models. So, recording, we sort of spend on the Thursday probably about 8 hours or so, getting recordings done and travelling to and from places. Editing, it depends how many sort of videos we get recorded, but I'd say at least another day's worth of work just on editing. And planning stuff, well, we've got it down to a T now, haven't we? Pretty much.
Yeah, we're doing quite well.
We're doing quite well with our planning. We sort of just
pretty efficient at the moment.
on Thursday we just come in and do this. We'll do another video.
We send each other stroppy messages that we're like
hey,
each other's bosses.
So I've edited 3.
So I've done all of this. What have you done? We do it to each other all the time. We keep each other on our toes. Actually, that's good.
I've cleared my backlog now. What have you got
In
left?
fact, you sent me that the other day, and then did you notice the next day?
I
had 3 videos on. So we do put a lot of work into this.
A lot of time. So 2 days out of the week at least to get it sorted, and then mainly it's sort of the use of the computer. It's why I've partly bought my laptop, because when you upload into YouTube and rendering, your computer is doing that. It doesn't really do much else.
Yeah.
So you now lose your computer for however many hours. It sometimes takes like 10, 12 hours to upload these videos. So I put my laptop so I can just do stuff else.
That's the biggest bit, isn't it? It's the uploading time for bat reps. It's a big thing.
Well, these Q&As as well, if they're not on what I found the lowest quality, which, can I have some feedback on that for last week? Does it make a difference that it was so small in comparison to normal? I hope not, because it took me half an hour to render and 2 hours to upload, rather than sort of 3 hours to render and 12 to upload.
I always do mine in lowest quality, but since the new iMovie...
Yeah, Apple seems to have changed it, so it's lowest is a higher quality by standard.
Yeah, it just takes longer, and it takes up a lot more space. So an hour to an hour and a half Q&A is like 2.6 gig or something ridiculous.
It's crazy, isn't it?
It's mad. It takes forever. So yeah, it's probably 2 days out of a week, sort of. If you round it all together, it'll be 2, maybe even 3 days if you include the stuff that we prep for tournament and things like that. So it's like having another job,
another part-time job. Yeah. As for list building, I sort of build a list at night. Just go,
Fun thing to do.
I wonder if, got a bit of time, on the train, to and from places, or walking to work, I'll just be thinking, probably constantly, besides when I'm at work. And then painting I do in a build-up to a tournament. That's pretty much the only painting. Sculpting, don't do any. And fun games, there are no more fun games. Fun games are like tournaments.
Yeah, we don't really get much of a chance to...
The tournaments are sort of like our time off.
They are.
Strangely.
Strangely,
Lots of prep before, lots of prep after, but the tournament day itself is actually just
We're
fun.
off.
Yeah.
We're off. We just chill out and we relax. Mind you, at this last one we did a lot of filming the night before.
Yeah, certainly the night before we did quite a bit.
Yeah, because we'll try and take the opportunity to open other people's models
Yeah.
and do content with those guys and introduce you to other members of the community, which is always a good thing, and it gets us more content, so we'll do that. In terms of, for me, fun games, very rarely now, very, very rarely. List building, not getting much of a chance. Painting, I'm not doing any at the moment, and I want to. I'd love to be just spending a couple of hours a week on painting, but just not getting it in.
So I'll find the time to sit down and properly paint rather than just do a bit.
Yeah, I've got a business as well that I have to kind of keep on top of, and there's lots of things happening with that business, and obviously we've got all of this, which is a priority for me now in the hobby, and I've got a fiance and a wedding to plan for next year, so tough stuff. And regarding the new releases, I agree with you. I love the new Bayonne release. I love it.
If you're on a discount, 30% off at Dreamlight Gaming. Check them out on Facebook.
Dreamlight Gaming, you need to get back to me, guys. 6 Sons of Ale, I want to order. 4 Long the Fat, 12 Axemen of Lossenark, Bayonne the Bear. Let me know. I've sent them a couple of messages now and they've not got back to me.
Yeah, okay. We'll still
I'm sure they will.
They'll be a good guy.
Okay, next up we've got... he's a good guy. Next up we've got Dreadnought 369. Hello, I was just wondering what I should get next for my army. By the way, I have a Gondor army which consists of 1 squad of soldiers, 1 squad of rangers and Gandalf as their leader. Can Gandalf lead Gondor?
No, so I assume it's supposed to be for fun. Does a command pack could be decent. Get you the Knight of the White Tower, a Captain, Banner and Hornblower. Just to get some sort of like tournament legal list if that's what you're after. Potentially some cavalry, just to get some of them used in the game, and also maybe if you want to go down a different route and stick with infantry, some elite soldiers like Guards of the Fountain Court, Citadel Guard.
Yep, stuff like that would be cool. Next up we've got Cram Jam Triangle.
Thanks for the answer, guys. Tried all heroes. That didn't work so well. I've lost both my games. The list was Legolas, Haldir, the Helm's Deep version, Theoden with Horse and Shield. Okay. Why did Arsenal lose 6-0? Sad face. Worse than Man U. My question is, what is the easiest army to play with? There isn't really an easy army to play with.
There are forgiving armies like dwarves.
We said dwarves are quite forgiving, that they can take the beating if you make a mistake with them. I find the Wood Elves quite easy to play with as a player.
Yeah, but you have to be a more advanced player to play with the fort because it isn't forgiving.
With a low defence force.
It's like all-mounted Rohan, really.
Yeah,
it's true because it collapses like that. And it's the same Wood Elves.
Same Wood Elves. If I engage in the fight too soon, or I've not taken out the things that need to be taken out, then I start throwing 2 dice for you, 2 dice, and lose and die very, very quickly.
It's true, isn't it?
Yeah,
it is true. So there are forgiving forces and not so forgiving forces. You know, not so forgiving forces are things like cavalry, all hero even.
Yeah, all heroes are very unforgiving force. If you spend your might incorrectly, or you know you have that one bad turn where you roll like 1-1-2, and the hero can get taken down.
Yeah.
And you've lost a big chunk of your army.
It's like an exponential thing, isn't it? You know, you lose one.
It's very
all
easy
my
to
days.
lose it quick, another, and it's that domino effect.
Of course it is, yeah. So, in terms of why did Arsenal lose 6-0? They're not doing well against big teams this season.
No, they're not. 4-1, 4-0.
You're not doing worse than United this season. Yeah. You're doing alright.
As for your all-hero list, just to comment on it, you've picked not probably the most optimal heroes for the list. Legolas and Haldir aren't combat heroes, and what you need in an all-hero force is sort of the tried and tested and proven method to use an all-hero force is they need to have a base of 3 attacks minimum, and ideally you want them on horses and charging, so you get 4 dice. you've got the fight value there, but you want to be rolling sort of like a 5 or 6 highest each time. And 4 dice gives you very good odds of doing that. So there's 3 dice. Legolas, Haldir, and Theoden without the fate. Theoden's got 2 fate, has he, but no will. They're all gonna, if they lose a combat, which is likely to happen with 2 dice, they're gonna die quickly because they are low defense and 2 wounds. The heroes you want in all hero list, your traditional ones are Aragorn, Glorfindel, maybe Boromir.
Twins.
The twins definitely you includes. And if you go up to sort of 700 points, that's when you include Gandalf as well for a bit of magic casting, but mainly cast Blinding Light to protect your horses. Gandalf's great.
Thank you for teaching me
Right.
how good he is at the weekend. If you don't know that reference, it's because Jamie stomped me in Lords of Battle.
Didn't stomp you enough. I was contemplating this. I was like, I needed to gain another. In the revised rankings, I think it was 12 and 13. I needed 8, and then Joe got 5 more, so I needed 13. So what I should have done is not broken you, so the game doesn't have that random ending, and put everything onto Gandalf, get his 6, and then the captain, which is 9, and then hope the game turns on so I can get those other ones. But
in retrospect, it was a great game. You think you were learning a lesson in that game? I learned loads. I enjoyed it. You could tell I was enjoying it, didn't you? I got stomped. It was brilliant because I've not got a huge amount of experience of Wizards, and it was the kind of game that afterwards you're like, fair enough, it's great. I would definitely do things differently in the future, so therefore it was well worth it. It was well worth it. It's good. And congratulations. And commiserations as well.
Commiserations, yeah. It's all one of those trials by fire, isn't it, where you go, that's what I need to be aware of. Okay, right.
Yeah, it was like Owen in Hold Ground.
Yeah, learning.
Mansfield. I learnt so much. Thank you, Owen. You're a good teacher.
Yeah, he did strike.
Oh, God, he's on strike.
Yesterday.
He was, yeah. Okay, so, someone's commented here.
Yeah.
Danny Parker, 1100. I saw you there, I think, and you was playing someone that had a Rohan army and he was destroying you. Rohan destroys all. That doesn't surprise me though, because that forces, especially if you get knocked down, you lose a fight.
With the heroes, even sort of just like your regular Rohan warrior, 4 strikes against Legolas needing 5s. They're going to go down quickly.
Crownton Triangle, well, I don't think that's how I would put it, but yeah, it wasn't amazing. To be fair, the second game was me versus 50% high off bows, so it was kind of impossible for me to win and an illegal list. Yeah, that's tough. Next up, we got Longy, 970. Gonna be cheeky and slip 2... Whoa. 2 questions.
Greedy. We've had quite a lot of questions in the other ones, to be fair.
Yeah. Gonna be cheeky and slip 2 questions in this week. At least you kind of say that you're gonna be cheeky. Yeah. Firstly, do berserkers always strike using their 2-handed weapons, or can they elect to just be single-handed?
Yeah. Everyone's
got a hand
considered to have a hand weapon unless it says in the profile, so that they do have the option to go 2-handed there.
And secondly, does Anders' Elven Blade allow him to choose a single or double-handed at his discretion?
I would assume so, yes. Yeah. If it counts as an Elven Blade, then yeah.
Elven Blades are
Elven Blades can go 2-handed if they want.
Thanks for your question, Longy. Make sure you ask one next week. Next up, we've got Lewis McDonald.
Hey guys, just asking why Legolas is such a good model. I always hear you say he's a game changer, but I'm not really sure how he is. So, perfect example is our Lords of Battle game.
Yeah, okay, so in our Lords of Battle, it was like a modified version where you got to choose a wizard to accompany your force at the end.
Obviously, we both chose Gandalf the Grey because we're both playing Forces of Good and he was the best option available to us.
Best option, and also both of our forces are quite shooty armies.
Yes, both of us had sort of 10 bows, didn't we? Well, I had 10 shots, 7 including Legolas.
I had 11.
You had 11 from Rivendell Knights.
11 from Rivendell Knights.
So it benefited us to be safe from shooting and shooting at the opponents.
Yep, so casting Blinding Light, yeah, absolutely great. However, very, very quickly I realised that I was going to lose the shooting war because Legolas's special auto-hit rule. Yeah. So, if you don't know what Cast Blinding Light does, it means that your opponent has to roll 6s for anything they target within 6 inches of Gandalf once it is cast, channeled, preferably.
Yeah. So, because we've got a similar sort of number of shots, we're both sort of maybe getting 1 shot through a turn with regular guys, but Legolas is guaranteeing that 1 shot through. So, potentially 2 shots.
He was killing stuff.
But it's the fact that he would... Okay, he randomised to see what he hits, but when he does hit, against the defence 5 guys who I was targeting at, he's got a 1 in 3 chance of killing them with might
You were doing it. You were doing it, and you had Alfred just in case.
Just in case you want to bump up mites.
Bump up mites, so you didn't need to not use the mite. Yeah. So very quickly I realised I was going to use that shooting more in retrospect.
Should have just
charged out.
But Legolas has this ability that if you don't sort of use his might in the early game, and you save it, and you just roll the dice. If you don't get a wound, you don't get a wound. But he can really put the hurt on heroes by auto-shotting them through, regardless of whatever reason. As long as he can just get a glimpse at them, you can shoot him.
Yeah.
And it's that strength 3 shot every turn. You're eventually going to roll a natural 6 or 5, or you're going to bump it with might, and heroes then have to burn fate, or just things are going to happen to them.
Yeah. Targeting things like shamans and just.
And even just with his 3 shots, it's 3 shots that are loaded with might.
Yep.
And it's just nasty.
Even shooting into, because he can auto hit models because he can shoot into
combats. He can shoot off a horse if someone is charged in.
Yeah. Just
also, you make him your general, and with an elven cloak and armour, he's never really near combat. So you've got to get through the army to that sort of bubble of archers that tend to sit with him, and he just sort of doesn't allow your opponent to get that 3 VPs for wounding or killing the general, and is able to wound theirs effectively.
I think that's a massive advantage. Although the lower defence, having him be out of the way as a hero. Again, it's one of the problems that you have as a Rohan player.
Yeah.
Is that your natural choice, or in my army, is Knight of Pelennor.
No, with the 3,
what do you want him to do?
Runes, high defence, 3 might, 3 fate, but you need him stuck in there because he's got the strength 5 and the ability to smash stuff up. It's always sort of the tricky thing is, he's your big hero who's going to get stuck in, and have your weaker hero as a general. But then if that weaker captain gets caught out, then you probably lost the 3 VPs.
Yeah. So he's a game changer. He can sort of swing things.
It's also the fact that he is so far away. He's not involved, but can still contribute effectively to the game that's going on.
Yeah, I would agree with that. And it's your favourite hero, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I've got the 3 Hunters version there for you. I'll give that to you. So thank you very much for your question, Lewis McDonald. Next up we've got Danny Parker 1100. Hello guys, my question is, who is the best and cheapest in points leader for men, and who is the best unit to mix with Minas Tirith army? Currently I'm using Rangers of Middle Earth right now, but they do die quickly. Low defence. All in all, thanks and keep up the hobby. We certainly will, Danny Parker.
Okay, so the best hero for good. Is it best leader for men? Oh, for men. Best leader for men is Aragorn. If you're just going off stats.
Or Boromir.
Just purely off who they are, I'd say Aragorn outstrips Boromir. Because he's got that 1 might every turn.
Every turn.
And it's the late game that Aragorn really starts to shine.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, I'm brave.
When all that might's gone.
When all might's gone, he's just going, heroic move if I've lost priority. Heroic combat, heroic strike, heroic march. He can just do it.
Mm-hmm. And this is Aragorn.
Aragorn LSR, yeah. But then obviously you pay the points for him. He's 260 points, and you're paying for that privilege. So many points in one.
It's so expensive. Too expensive.
Because you're forced to pay for Anduril. If you could have the option to take King LSR without Anduril, knock 75 points off him, then yeah, I'd be more tempted to take him. Yeah. So he's the best. The cheapest is Damrod. Well, he's not the cheapest is Fatty Bolger. The effective cheapest is Damrod, I'd say.
Yeah, because it's allowing you to bring a warband for cheap. Yeah. So you can kind of really hoard it up with Gondor if you want.
Yeah.
Or allow yourself to get in the big hero tanked up Faramir or Boromir, and you can still bring them in a relatively smaller points level because you've got some rubbishy hero, not rubbishy, but ones that allow you to bring the troops.
Yeah.
Which is where you normally struggle when you bring something big.
Yeah.
What was his next part? Who's the best units to mix with Minas Tirith army? Currently using Rangers of Middle Earth right now, but they do die quickly.
Something with high defence at the front. So you get the Rangers of the spear support who can just shoot, and obviously the guys in front take the damage. Mm-hmm. So you're looking at things like
just some regular
warriors will do it. Defence 6, their shooting should be relatively nerfed against them. Guards of the Fountain Core if you want to go all the way. Defence 7. Khazad Guard or Dwarves with their Defence 7. Army of the Dead I've seen used effectively. Mm-hmm. There used to be a really nasty alliance between Army of the Dead and Grey Company.
Oh yeah, I can imagine that scene, yeah. Defence 8. So if you're in a shooting war with strength 2 bows, 6s by 5s.
Yeah. But then even strength 3, it's 6s by 4s.
6s by 4s, yeah. Not a lot else does that.
No.
So thanks very much for your question, and we will keep up the hobby. Next up.
Suragon, is that a character? Or is that someone's name, do you reckon?
I don't know. Tuor? Help us out.
Yeah, I'm struggling on that one. Hi guys, I'm new to the game on GBHL channel. Woohoo! But really enjoying both. My first time question is just for fun and hopefully hasn't been asked before. Oh, I saw this one. If Games Workshop were to make a model of you two, what fight stats would you have? Any special rules or magic powers?
This is interesting.
Yeah.
Maybe we should do this for each other.
Okay, no.
Because if you do it for yourself, it's...
I'd say, I thought about this and I'd say, well, in the terms of the game, just your regular man's fight 3, so I'll probably fight 3. I'm not particularly...
Odd.
I
don't know, but you'd be a hero, wouldn't you? So
fight 4 by default.
You don't want to be a Rohan captain, Jamie.
No, well...
But you're not exactly not at the penalty.
What's a wild man? Fight 3, so
fight
4. Fight 4 wild man.
Fight 4, okay. Interesting. Okay. Yeah. Go on, so you'd be fight 4? I would well be fight... No, I wouldn't be fight 10. But I'd be a reasonable fight. Yeah. I'm a trained soldier.
Yeah, you got the shoot value increase. You got fight 3. You got.
But I also do mixed martial arts, cage fighting. I do Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and kickboxing.
So fight 5.
I also do Filipino weapons fighting.
Fight
that can disarm people.
You're not Aragon
and stuff. Yeah, Aragon should be fight 7.
Yeah, well, you're not Boromir.
Yeah, I could take down Boromir.
Nah, no. Sean Bean. You versus Sean Bean, man.
Sean Bean always dies in movies. I'll take him down.
Yeah, but
I've never died in a movie. Okay, well, I'll take fight 5 for now, but I honestly think
with a
fight
3+ shoot value.
Yeah. That's right. Strength. That's me. Marksmanship principles.
Strength. Well, for my hero, I guess it's 4. So I'm reasonably strong, I'd say.
Yeah, you're a big strong guy, aren't you? Yeah.
Yeah. Both 4. Both 4.
I don't know. You seen videos of me on YouTube tugging like 300 kilos.
No.
Stronger than I look. It's my job to be strong.
Yeah.
But you're a big strong guy. Should we go for strength 4?
Strength 4. Defence.
I'm well stronger than 4 along the fat. Dwarling. I'd smash Dwarling in an arm wrestle. I would.
No.
He's little. I kick him in the nuts. That's right. Anyway,
yeah.
Defence.
Defence.
It depends on our armour, because...
Yeah. I own chainmail armour.
You own... I own Kevlar combat body armour.
So what? 4 is the natural defence for a hero, so with just light armour for me it'd be 5. If I get myself a shield, it'd be 6.
Chainmail's...
Chainmail's armour. It's not heavy armour, is it? It's not plate.
You defence 5.
So it's 5, 6.
You're going to end up being a much cheaper hero than I. Kevlar!
So what would you say your defence is? You'd say 6, 7 with a shield?
7 with a shield? that was me in Iraq.
Wooden shield. Yeah, that's what the army should invest in, Kevlar shields.
We did have riot shields. Yeah. Have you ever done riot training? No, you wouldn't have done any riot training before. That's cool stuff. People throwing petrol bomb. Not in an actual riot situation. That is one of the scariest things in the world, I have to say.
Just training.
Attacks.
2. That's fair for myself.
You're a hero. Yeah.
2. I've got a special attack. Bear.
Yeah. I was thinking of that for a special stat for yourself. Yeah, let's go for 2 attacks.
Wounds 2.
Wounds 2?
Yeah.
Really?
Just hero. Yeah.
Have you been through any sort of... Mind you, that'd be more fate, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Nearly died experiences. Yeah, we'll go for that one in a minute. Okay, I'll go for 2 wounds as well, not bothered.
Courage?
Bodyguard.
No, I'd like to say... I'd like to think I was reasonably brave. Maybe 4, 5. Probably 4.
Go for 5.
I'm just a Rohan captain.
Punched a Rohan captain.
No, I'm just a Rohan captain.
You're just a... I think you're doing yourself down here.
Yeah.
Let's get you into training.
Probably my will be up.
Your will be up.
Intelligence.
Well, I'm quite brave.
Hmm.
I've gone and done some stuff.
Some stuff. Might.
That'll be courage 6, man. Might.
2. Just captain. 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't imagine being.
Can be overly heroic. Like Boromir, like 6 might.
No, I was well under. This sounds really bad.
You're one way hero.
I was well under that thing when we was away, or I was like, yeah, I'm not running out there for. You want to be stupid and do that over there? You do that. I'll cover you.
Will, I think 3 will for myself.
Yeah. I go for that one, not easily. So do stuff. You know what I mean? Fate. How many times you nearly died and survived?
Probably, I think once really. When it wasn't really me who helped survive, but basically we're on a motorway. Truck had a blowout and just cut across in front of everything, and just in front of the car.
That's dangerous.
That's probably the one time I've come close to death. I
Touch
broke my leg once.
Too fate.
Too fate.
Too fate. Yeah, I think I'd be a 2 or 3 fate hero.
Special rules? Well, I think I've got a special attack.
Yeah, you do.
Sacrifice my attacks to make like a strength 10 hit or something.
A strength 10 hit.
Yeah.
But what's the consequence?
Consequence, I'm locked in place for 1 turn. Like, can't move next turn. I'm still thinking of...
Special rule for myself. No idea, what do you reckon? At any point in the game, I can say, "Oh my days!" And everybody in combat has to take courage tests, a little bit like Boromir's Horn.
Yeah.
A series of special brutal power attacks. Oh my days. Rohan! And unbelievable. Something along those lines. And they've all got their own rule.
Yeah.
I think it'd be really fun. Let's see.
What you think.
What do you think? Come up with stat lines.
Make up special rules for us.
Yeah. Come up with a stat line for Jamie and I. And we'll talk about it in the next Q&A. Because it's a fun question. And this is your first question.
Good question.
Good question. We like you, buddy. We just want to be able to say your name properly. Next up, we got Ian Marley. Hello! My friend and I have been having some discussions around Fight 6 heroes like Elrond and Aragorn that cost a lot of points. Since the introduction of Heroic Strike, I think it makes sense that these guys are not worth their points. What do you guys think?
I think they're still... I think the fact that everyone can Heroic Strike, they are still worth it. Yes, it can be frustrating, but if you think about it, it means that these lower points captains, like Goblin captains for example, everyone uses them as the example that they can Heroic Strike, get to fight 9 and become, outrageous. They're saving their might to do that now. They're not heroic moving and forcing you to burn yours on a heroic move as well. And there's still a chance that like these lower cost heroes might not roll the high number, and then even once they're out of might, you'll still fight 6. That's how you got to view it. Not that you just got to be a bit more careful with your heroes nowadays. I think like you can't just go throwing them at their other heroes, killing them in 1 and draining the 2 might off them. Like, they will Heroic Strike and they might win the fight.
Yeah, scary stuff.
I think they are still worth it though.
Yeah, Max Robinson.
Hey guys, my question this week is what storage do you use to your models? And do you have any tips on storing monsters of Cavalry? Looking forward to your GBHL merchandise. Thanks.
It's on the way.
It is.
Yes.
We've got the logo pretty much down, haven't we?
It's so exciting, guys.
Yeah.
So exciting. What GBHL merchandise would you like to support us in the channel? Let us know. Comment on your next question.
What's the question? Storage. I was choose Games Workshop carry cases. I got, I think, 3 of them when I started the hobby. And through people leaving the hobby and stuff like that, I got some more cases. For very old models, I got some Tupperware that I just throw them into.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Like the one, like orcs, like the mountains of orcs that I got that I don't really care for, really. Just throw them into a box. I probably should sort them out.
Where do I store my my models?
Oh, just anywhere by the looks of it.
I'm doing the cellar out at the moment, so they will be stored down there in nice little display cases and stuff. But for the time being, they're all over my dining room. That was another thing.
Yeah,
Jane doesn't like that. When are you going to do this cellar? Okay, next up we've got Glenn Armstrong. Hey guys, thanks for answering my questions again. It's a pleasure. My question this week is, can you use the monstrous brutal power attacks on cavalry? Yes. If so, a cavalry model is hurled. Is the rider thrown?
Yes.
Automatically thrown. As always, keep up the great work and good luck in everything you do. Happy strategy battle gaming. Yeah, that came up in a FAQ. One of the first ones, wasn't it?
It's like if a model is thrown through a mounted model. So let's say I picked up Aomen at the Pelennor, threw him through your Sons of Vale. Both the mount and the rider take a hit. So you can sort of kill the mount if you don't kill the rider.
Yep.
Yeah, that's there.
Which is good. Like, I remember the first time I played all mounted Rohan. I played against Mark Boyland, the Chester Model Railway Centre. He came to my house, made him some bacon butties, and yet that was before it got FAQ'd. And I remember, like, he hurled me. He had a fell beast.
Yeah.
He had like an Angmar army, which is interesting. I did win, but he hurled me, and because it hadn't been FAQ'd,
did you randomise to see what was hit?
I can't remember what we did, but I was like, surely it's automatically thrown, because once he was like knocked down, basically lifting him back up.
Oh yeah, I see what you mean. Like, just the model is thrown.
The model is thrown, yeah, as opposed to you're automatically thrown. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So I'm glad that they did do that, even though it doesn't benefit me in the slightest.
It makes more sense, yeah.
Makes loads of sense. Another thing for Cavalry to have to deal with. It's good, makes it fun. Next up, you can read this because he's very pro you in this question.
Definitely. Oh, is he? There you go. Now, first things first, the reason why I didn't take part in last week's scarring was that apparently the link was on an annotation and not in the video description. We don't get annotations on mobile devices. Now, something that I thought of last week when James is actually a peasant, both when it comes to computers, Mac peasant, and an SBG, Rohan. Jamie, on the other hand,
you're gonna like this,
belongs to the glorious PC Master Race. Yes. And what was it? And as well as the glorious Elf Race. No offence, James. Now a question.
Offence taken.
Thank you for that. PC Master Race all the way. Now a question. What's your opinion, if you actually have one, on Mantic's Kings of War? I recently started playing it as it's dirt cheap, £50 for an entire army. Oh my! You want to say it? Oh
my days!
P.S.
You redeemed yourself with correct use of all my days.
P.S. My 12-year-old sister came into the room the other day yelling, "Cha-cha master!" It's Reading.
Maybe we should do like a T-shirt. We have to ask Cha-cha Master. Can we do a Cha-cha Master T-shirt in the future?
That'd be fun.
Cha-cha Master. No one will know what it means, but you'll be part of an exclusive club of people who knows what it means. It means you, Cha-cha Master from Poland.
So, Kings of War. I've seen the models for them because I thought they'd make decent replacements for Warhammer Fantasy models. The actual game itself, I've got no opinion on as I don't know the rules for it. I'm sorry to say.
Yeah, I've got no idea. Although we are looking at doing some other games in the future. What games have we got lined up, Jamie?
I don't know.
Well, we've done a bit of X-Wing.
Yeah.
And X-Wing isn't all of a sudden going to become what this channel is about. We might do the odd X-Wing battle report.
Yeah.
Because we like the game.
We like the game. It's fun to get another game system.
And why would we play a game without filming it for you guys? That's right. Why would we do that? Why would we just play for fun when we can film it for your fun?
But it's nice to have a little break away sometimes from the one game that you do play a lot because you sort of just enjoy the mechanics of another game.
I watched your Charles debacle.
Terrible.
That's terrible first move.
The interceptor.
K-turn.
Oh, dead.
No, the first bit where you stuck him well out. I'll just boost it because I can. He ended up like in everybody's fire and got taken out. And
however, that Academy pilot at the end, just doing the one turns, causing everyone to crash. He was amazing.
I didn't get that far actually. No, I must have. I don't know why I didn't get that far.
I just got bored.
No, I think I was editing.
Oh, okay.
I was editing and I just happened to sort of have it up while I was editing and I thought I'd better get on. Yeah. We want to do we both got Batman miniatures.
Yeah, Batman's a hard game. If any of you have looked at Batman, the rules were Spanish originally. Have been translated sort of very poorly. I'm going to say it into English, and there are so many special rules that it's not like our special rules where you go, that model's got a special rule. What is it? Oh, in his profile here it says this. They don't say the profiles in the character names. They're like, he's got sprint, right? Let's go through this PDF. Sprint does this. It requires you to look at run. Let's go to run on page 47. Run does. Oh, it's got another thing I need to read. Let's go back to the other page at the beginning to find out how we move. And it's just it's a terribly laid. Someone is rewriting it, however, but it'd be a while before we get Batman, I think.
Yeah, just because of the rules, because we love the miniatures.
The miniatures are amazing. Like,
We love the
Night
models.
Models have done some.
Was that my
cracking
Christmas present
miniatures.
to you?
It was, yeah. You got the Joker for me.
I got you Joker.
Yeah. I got you a Son of Ale.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did. How did you know? How did you know?
Every Christmas and birthday, Son of Ale for him until he got out.
That is a great idea.
Yeah.
You know, I'd be very happy. I'd be very, very happy with that. So yeah, we do want to do other gaming systems.
You really want to do Infinity, don't you?
I really want to try Infinity. Yeah, I've got my army list written out and everything. I know, because Infinity seems relatively cheap to get into. And one day we might do a bit of 40k, some Warhammer.
I'm hesitant on
You're probably going to go more the war
fantasy.
and that's more because there's a big audience. But guys,
don't worry.
Armortainment, Armortainment, don't worry, because I know that you're worried that SPG will end up being glossed up. It won't. This is our system.
That's always going to be the main system for the channel.
If we were doing this just for popularity, we'd be playing 40k.
Yeah.
Because that's
40k gets the huge views and huge numbers just because they've got the video games, they've got the books, they've got everything really. They've got film.
It's the biggest tabletop game out there, isn't it?
Yeah.
So we would be doing that, and that's not our project.
Yeah.
Our project is to get people to see
SPG and start wanting to play that.
Yep, so that this Hobbit hobby is getting supported, and
hopefully survives that little bit longer than it should do.
Exactly, and the best way to do that is to get players involved, and one of the best ways to get players involved is to play their games.
Yeah.
Get them to come see the channel and then see SPG and think, wow, what's this all about? Why are these guys getting so excited about these dice rolls?
Yeah.
And you do them as well. Come on, give me a stick! Oh!
Look at this, come on! Yes! oh
no. Next up we've got Paradox Vortex.
Get out the dark. We're out the dark. Hope you're happy.
Get out of the dark. Sam Gibbs. I'll read another one after. I know it's not allowed, but I missed out on last week's Speak Friend and Question. My two questions are, what's the best way to meet other players? Tournaments.
Tournaments are the best way. You'll meet players, because obviously you travel to them and go, oh, who's going from this area? Oh, you live sort of half an hour from me, we can probably meet up for a game every couple of weeks or so.
Yeah, you do have to...
You're right.
Yeah, I did get the shoulder a few years ago, and I don't know if you just heard that on camera, but I just went like that and it clicked out.
Ooh.
Yeah. Ow, sorry. Add one to fate.
Survived.
I survived that watery inflatable obstacle course called It's a Knockout that I won, even though my shoulder was dislocated. I'd like to point that out. So yeah, you usually have to do a bit of travelling, and also get on things like the forums. One
Ring more so at the moment. Last Alliance it's picking up, but it's still a little bit quiet. One Ring, just go to you made a thread, didn't you, about find out where people are from?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, there's a population finder in there, so you can just type in there and see where everyone's from. But going to tournaments is the best way.
Also, join the Facebook group. Ask on there.
Facebook group's quite good. Really active.
Very active group.
And do you think that Games Workshop will ever make a box set of the new Gundabad Orc? Cheers.
Maybe there's talk of them wanting of the community wanting that to happen. Especially for Battle of 5 Armies, maybe we might get a plastic box set. But if they've made them and cast them in resin already, there's no sort of incentive to make a plastic mould.
We should get another starter box.
Yeah, hopefully.
I'd imagine there would be a Battle of 5 Armies.
Yeah, you'd hope.
You'd hope, and because that's increasing how much the total amount that somebody would spend. So some people might go and get some, and I would recommend that you do it if you want those, because you're supporting the Hobbit hobby. The Lake Town.
Yeah,
the Lake Town went really quick, didn't it?
Yeah, it did really well.
Unbelievably.
There was a quote on the not quote. There was a comment on the Facebook group for the GBHL from someone saying that a plastic mould costs Games Workshop 30,000 just to make the mould for the actual plastic to fall into. That doesn't include sort of the man hours behind sculpting a plastic set mould. So 30,000 is a lot for them to invest for one plastic sprue.
Mm-hmm.
And so they've got to be sure they can make that back, and if they can do a fine cast one cheaper, that's what they're going to do. And for our hobby, which doesn't have the same volume of sales as 40k and fantasy, you can understand from a business perspective why Games Workshop are reluctant to spend that investment. From a hobby point of view, it is a bit annoying sometimes that we are getting these fine cast models, but I can fully understand that if it was my business,
It's a business. Ultimately, it comes down to, can you make money from this investment?
Yeah.
Am I going to make money?
Will I make enough money?
Will I make enough money? Is it worth the time and the effort? You know, they've got to get a return on it. It's a business. Next question. Oh, so yeah, I think that there might be a big
Battle of Five Armies one.
Would make sense.
Hopefully we'll get some... so you got Goblin Town in the past one, you might get Battle of Five Armies and some Iron Hills Dwarves, maybe. Well, you probably get Rangers because they're already in plastic, and then maybe some plastic Orcs.
I think they'll get some plastic Orcs and some plastic Lake Town.
Lake Town, yeah, that'd be good.
I think so. I think so anyway. Next up we've got Larry Miller. We met Larry Miller.
Yes, we did.
Nice guy.
Yes, yeah. It was great seeing you at the tournament last week. I was looking forward to the next one. That's us.
It's in a couple of weeks.
It's like just over 2 weeks now, just under 2.
There's still some tickets remaining, guys, and we've got 48 people coming.
Yeah, it's good.
Let's get over 50. That would be amazing.
Push 50, yeah.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
That's a nice number, 50.
I'm looking forward to the next one. For this week's question, other than scenarios and fluffy Army of Dead lists, does anyone use the King of the Dead? He seems very expensive for 1 attack, 2 wounds, no might, and a relatively low fight value, even with a special rule. Also, there's no use for his high amount of will, maybe if he had something like the Undying, but using will as might or some kind of magic, he'd be useful. I do agree that the will is sort of, his buffer for running away and not being transfixed and destroyed straight away. But he's more of an old list model. You used to not be able to take Army of the Dead without him. Now that you can take them with Forlong or Angbor or Imrahil or anyone, he is like the last choice for a fiefdoms list besides Theme. So
Really, isn't it?
yeah, it is a shame. It'd be nice if he had some might. It was always his weakness, even in the old lists. You rarely saw Army of the Dead because you had to drop 100 points on him.
Be nice to see some Army of the Dead.
Yeah.
Why do we not see more? Just because they're expensive?
They're expensive. They're not really out there, I don't think, so much anymore. I think they're still on the Games Workshop website. But they're like 15 points a model. So we might see more of them actually if that's the way models costing's going. Because
yeah, Mirkwood Rangers and stuff.
The Mirkwood Rangers and the Palace Guard are all at points level. But the biggest letdown for them was always Fight 3. I guess you could probably make a decent list for them now that you get space supports in there. Elves supporting them would be nice.
Yes, that sounds good. And hopefully we'll see you soon, Larry. I think, did he say he was coming up to Stockport?
I assume so.
Hopefully see you there, buddy. Next up, we've got Rob Jacobs. Hey guys, just to let you know, I'll be picking up my Channel Geek prize at the Stockport tournament. Yes, you will. I sent an email to James, but he has yet to reply, so I thought I'd mention it here. I have now replied. I've been busy. Sorry, Rob, but I have now replied. Next up, Glenn Armstrong. This is more of a comment than a question directed at you, James. Ooh. That's getting me worried. I must give you credit, because I played a few Warbound and Warbound skirmishes, Middle-earth's Deadliest Warband style. Cool. Yeah. As Knights of Minas Tirith, and I know they're not the same as Rohan, but I found it very tactically challenging to play as an all-mounted list.
Yeah.
So well done, James, on keeping up the great work. Happy Strategy Battle Gaming. Sorry for the 2 posts. That's okay.
No worries, yeah. Yeah.
They are challenging to play.
Cavalry are very challenging.
It's fun. It's exciting.
Even more so with that list, since they're 1 attack, Fight 3.
Yeah, the Fight 3 is...
real.
That's tough. So, but they got lances, which Rohan don't have.
If they win the fight, they're more likely to kill. But it's that winning the fight initially.
Yeah.
Fight 3 Cavalry is very tough.
So cavalry are tough to... Let's explain why cavalry are tough to play with.
So they've got 1 attack, typically in their profile.
And yet they are expensive.
Yeah, more expensive because you've got the bonuses. If you do charge and win, you get 4 strikes, so 4 dice to wound, which is a very high chance of wounding.
Which is very cool.
However, after that initial charge, which you should get due to your higher movement, if you then lose priority and maybe lose the heroic move, you're getting charged, and then suddenly the weight is in their favour, because they'll have sort of 2, maybe even 4 attacks against your 1.
Yeah.
Which has happened to some, well, not me in the past, but to my opponent in the past, where he's charged in with his priority, I've counter-charged, and I had 4 against his 2 with my high fight, and it's like...
Yeah. You charge, if you're cavalry, you charge when your opponent, it's your opponent's priority.
So they've moved, and you're in range, then you charge in because you can pick your fights and they can't react to it.
Yes, and that's where you need to get your killing. So you need to be killing stuff then.
Yeah.
Try and make sure you got a hero around, and leave enough cavalry back, because if you lose the inevitable roll-off, because if you get priority, your opponent, if they're smart, will probably call a heroic move, because they don't want you to get that charge again. So you need a hero around so that you can call a heroic move, and then there's the roll-off. If you lose that roll-off, you've got models in place to counter his counter, so you're still picking your fights for 2 rounds. That's some really basic sort of helpful tips there for charging with cavalry. I think too many people might try and, especially if they're beginners, will try and play cavalry like infantry.
Boom! And drop.
Yeah, it doesn't work, because they can the enemy can get more models in base contact with you.
It's actually more dice in the fight. Just you'll drop quick with your 1 attack.
It's good. Thanks very much for your question, and for giving me the thumbs up for my cavalry play.
Yeah.
Thomas Macklin, what a guy! I like you, Thomas.
Thanks for your feedback, guys. You might see a few Vault Wardens at Stockport. Good stuff. Also, great to see you again at Shadow and Sorcery. Unlucky, Jamie. It was.
Should we explain quickly why you're unlucky?
Yeah, very quick one. The full breakdown will be in the tournament review, but basically, in the games that I've played, I did play, I was against armies that didn't yield very many victory points. So despite winning 4 out of 5 games, I had a very low victory point score. So when ranked up against everyone else who won 4 games, I was at the bottom of that pile. So out of a potential 3rd placing, I dropped to 6th, which was a bit frustrating.
It's the same with me, because I won 3 games and lost 2,
yeah.
but I had the least number of VPs. So you dropped from being like 7th or 8th, because were you 6th or 7th?
I was 6th, yeah.
You were 6th, so the person who won could have been 7th, but you're actually the 13th or something.
Yeah. It was a bit frustrating. I played.
It's the fact that Damien won.
Damien won.
That was a worst case situation for you.
Yeah. It was like if he'd have come even 2nd, I'd have been fine. It's the fact that there was that perfect number of places. But it was like, for example, I played against, in Domination, I played against Tom Bombadil and Treebeard. Now you think, 2 model army domination, you've won this, Jamie. But the game ends at 25%. I can't break him, because he's got 2 models, one of them is Bombadil, who's unkillable. And you're not really going to kill Treebeard, because doing the maths, you have to cause sort of either 6 wounds to kill him outright in a turn, or 5, and it's just very unlikely to happen. So what happened is I broke, he claimed an objective with Bombadil at the end, and I managed to wound his general and claim 2 objectives as well, so I only got 7 out of potential, 15, 21 in that scenario. It was a nasty. I was close to losing that game.
Yeah, you said.
I was really scared.
Yeah, it sounded like nasty. In fact, you were next to me at that point.
Yeah.
Was that? Yeah. Yeah, you were next to me. I did glance over, and it did look a bit. Was that a couple of little looks there? I love. Look at when people that you get on with at tournaments, and you just share that moment where they look over, and you look over, and you're like, and they're like, or. Those are the best ones when.
Yeah, you both kind of just like.
Yeah, I've got it. There's one point I think I was having to walk round 2 sides of the table, and I went past you and you went, "How you getting on, man?" And I was like, I don't know, you know. I don't know, you know.
Oh, yeah. That's the. It could go either way. I've well won this. It could go either way.
Oh, yeah. that was close.
Yeah. But,
so.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Unfortunately, didn't do it. My question for this week is: I'm going to start a Mordor army before everything goes out of production, and I want to troll chieftain. Are they worth the points at 500 points?
Troll chieftain, 100 points. Well, you take 140 points out your force. You're left with 3.
He's good. You can still...
He is good. Yeah.
He's good.
He's strong.
And you can use cheap troops, can't you?
Couple him with a taskmaster, and then he gets really good.
Well, that's what Lewis tried to do against my Grey Company. Is that a really good combination?
Yeah, because you have the taskmaster calling the heroic moves and heroic marches, and using his, hopefully getting the free might. And then the troll can use the might to sort of heroic combat.
Right, okay.
And just keep his sort of power going, basically. And, of course, heroic strike if a hero does it to you.
Yeah, he's 7s across the board, isn't he?
Yeah.
He's a beast. Yeah, go for it, Tom.
They might even be defense 8, you know. I think a regular troll is defense 7.
Oh, he might be, actually.
I think he's still strength 7, but I think he gets defense 8.
Yeah, might be right.
Yeah, because it's 6x4s from my elves to wound him. So concentrate on the regular trolls.
So wait a minute. Isn't he...
He's definitely fight 7.
What strength is Gwahir?
Gwahir's strength 8, so she can handle him.
Yeah, so I think he's strength 8.
Was he? Okay.
I think he might be strength 8 because he hurled Gwahir in that battle against...
I think you played it wrong.
Alright. That's quite likely. Good to hear from you, Thomas, and look forward to seeing you in Stockport, my friend.
Yeah.
I like Thomas. He's a really nice guy.
Good lad.
Good bloke.
Is it your turn to read?
Daniel Jones. Hey guys, haven't posted a question in weeks. What? What you doing? So here's two. I will actually be in England for holidays from Australia in September, October this year. Woohoo! Whereabouts in England are you guys? As I'll be all over England and it'd be cool to catch up for a game. We'd love that.
It'd be amazing.
You can play both of us.
Yeah. And in September, you've asked the second question. Also, are there any tournaments that time of year? We're hoping to run a tournament in Stockport in September.
Yeah.
We should just speak to Darren, make sure the hall's available, and speak to Mick so we can book out that sort of month for the GBHL Calendar League. Okay. But maybe in the North Gaming Centre, or it could be somewhere else. We're just looking at options at the moment.
We're just looking at ways if we can bring down costs if possible, because
we've found out there's been a lot of overheads that sort of just keep cropping up for this tournament, and
and obviously we want to contribute and bring tournaments to the scene. We're running a channel and we need to support it.
We support the channel, and
tournaments is a good way to do that.
Yeah. You sort of get that one big influx of money that can then be spread across the rest of the months. Yeah,
if we have a good tournament, if we didn't have the overheads to this one, we would maybe be able to buy a new camera.
A new camera, yeah.
A new camera and some batteries and stuff like that. So doing 2 or 3 years is something that we're definitely interested in. Yeah. Keep an eye out for that. And we're in Manchester.
We're in Manchester. That will be sort of the location that we would be at.
So obviously you want to do a museum tour of Old Trafford, Theatre of Dreams, get yourself Manchester United.
What's it called? Imperial War Museum North, one of my favourite museums in the area.
There's loads of great museums in Manchester.
Yeah.
Manchester is a cool place. Do some shopping, spend a whole day. Are you coming over with?
I assume maybe family, maybe.
Yeah, let us know who you're coming over with, and we'll be able to give you some ideas. But let us know. We're usually both available on a Thursday.
Thursday's best day. Maybe a Friday as well for me.
Yeah, and I sometimes can do a Saturday afternoon. So yeah, we'd love to have you over.
Yeah.
Next up.
So we got the Dr. Pepper machine. Cheers for answering my question, guys, and well done for keeping up with the daily vids. It's much appreciated.
We're working hard.
I've recently started up a small league along with 3 other friends, but we all play good armies: Rohirrim, High Elves, Dwarves and Galadrim, which takes away from the immersion for me. I find it hard to think of a reason that makes sense with the armies
within the law
that High Elves would want to kill Galadrim, for example. So my question is, what are the best benefits of playing evil armies, i.e. war gear, special rules and heroes that good armies have a hard time dealing with? You've had Kinstrife in the past, haven't you? The wars between elves, so there is...
Oh yeah. There've been lots of wars between elves.
They're just a race.
Wars between dwarves and elves.
Yeah. But everyone doesn't get along at some point.
Yeah, so you can fluff it up. In terms of what do evil armies bring to the table?
Cheap magic is the big one, I think, for evil.
Cheap magic. What's your strength 4?
Starts with strength 4, defense 6 forces. You can hoard it up very effectively.
Yeah, cheaply. Some great heroes.
Great heroes. Cheap generals that can provide a lot for your army and don't die. Like Groblog and Durbers are 2 goblin heroes I can think of straight away. Who provide 3 might and a decent hero free force that don't need to be in combat to earn their points back.
Yeah, evil's good.
Evil is one of the sort of very good force. Very good for both, really. They're just...
Evil are very good. I mean, that was one of the interesting things from looking at the Shadow and Sorcery, the placings.
Yeah.
If you noticed, it was like...
well, Evil won, didn't it?
Well, Evil won. Evil got 1st, 2nd and 3rd.
Oh, really? Oh.
1st, 2nd and 3rd.
Yeah.
And 4th.
Yeah.
As well. And if you noticed, if you have a little look, on the whole, until you start getting lower down the table, evil armies seem to have accrued more VPs.
Yeah. I guess you've got that option with more troops. It's the horde mentality, isn't it?
They seem to have accrued, so the evil armies had accrued more VPs.
Yeah.
Very interesting. I was looking like, I'm a good player now.
Yeah, evil forces. I would only really take an evil force if I had to take 2 armies. Otherwise, I'd rather take a good force. Just
Yeah,
because
you've got your goblin army.
I like the heroes. Yeah, the goblins is just something.
But you are Legolas.
No, I am Legolas. Yeah, Legolas is my playstyle.
And you are Legolas. I like Legolas. I like Jamie.
Yeah, the goblins. The goblins are only bought because I needed them for the old GT style, as you played good and evil. So I needed.
So glad they changed that.
Yeah.
For new players, it's a big good thing.
Yeah, it is.
Next up, we've got HD Miniatures Harry. Hey guys, have you thought about using a dice box for your rolling during your bat reps? It will help loads with chasing the dice around the table and save time. Also, do you guys have any suggestions for 3-player matches? Cheers, guys. In terms of dice boxes,
We started using them, didn't we? And then we changed because
it depends where you are, and, you know, what you're doing. And do you know what? Like, sometimes it works, but sometimes it doesn't, because sometimes I get the feeling if it's a dice box, and you guys can agree or disagree, it's only my opinion, but sometimes you get a feeling when you've got a dice box, it means that actually a lot of your footage is of the dice box and not the table. And I kind of, and it's just my opinion, I don't know, some of you are like, whoa, it makes me dizzy and stuff, but I like that moment in my style of battle reps, where you're seeing the table, you're filming the two models, you come up, the dice roll, you're still part of the battlefield, whereas I think a dice box almost separates it from.
it becomes back to being a tabletop war game, not some sort of immersion thing.
I know what you mean, because you know, we've used them.
We started using them, then we used them in the Amon Hen battle, didn't you?
Used them in the Amon Hen. Tom Harrison's got like a little garden centre tray. That's why that he takes around with him, and it's good. It's great, but I'm not sure it's good enough for me to just like carry one around with me or use it all the time.
No, I'd agree. I prefer just rolling on the table. I think there's also some. I'm sure Ed could give us some science as to why you should let them roll on the table rather than hit the side of a box, maybe.
Yeah, and also dice hit each other in the dice thing. I've seen it before where you roll and then it hits it, and it's like, well, does it count? Yeah, like because you're both rolling at the same time sometimes. Yeah. I know what you mean, though. It's something we can continue to experiment with. I think. Yeah. Still early days, so thank you very much. Also, do you guys have any suggestions for 3-player matches?
They're tough to do. Yeah. Especially when you've got lots amount of models. I mean, a decent scenario would be something like Lords of Battle. I think that's the most straightforward. Just kill each other, and you average your points to the models that you kill. They can get, if you got like three combat heavy forces, it's going to get really confusing when people are subcharging each other. You know, you get a 3-way combat. What happens? It's up to you to decide, I suppose, at the start of the game how you're going to resolve it. The ones that happened at Shadow and Sorcery, with that third party being the spider, was that whoever charged the spider first gets to fight first as a solo combat, and then we'll fight again against the second one.
How did you find that in the end?
Well, it'll come up in the tournament review. I didn't like.
Oh, yeah.
I played against Mikolaj and
remember you
lost priority and pretty much just shook his hand then, saying like, "Good game, you've won," because you're going to surround the general with everything and use might to do it, and there's no way for me to really counteract a full force.
Were you not in a position to?
No, at all.
Nowhere near.
Because I was coming on first, and I'd rolled the north and the east board edges. Both came on very close together, but Mick then obviously got to see that Legolas come on there, brought all his Wild Marauders on this side, all the goblins on one flank, and just over. I think I lasted about 4 turns that game.
Oh yeah, that was over quick.
It was very quick that game, which was annoying.
So the one that you lost.
The one I lost. We both said after the game and agreed that, let's say I'd rolled lower priority and he'd gone first. I then set up on the entire opposite side of the board.
Of course you do.
And it becomes a completely different game because he's then got to come to me and I've got 10 shots a turn for
the spider,
3 turns.
And he's got to chase you.
Yeah. So it was just it was.
What happened in Marvel?
Yeah, it was the best of the circumstances for Mick, worst of it for me. But
it happens. It happens.
Yeah. And that's
Gotta love this game.
That's the one problem that you don't like about Hold Ground, isn't it? That
yeah, because
it can massively influence the game. Well, for me, for turn 1, I was on the back foot and I pretty much was just agreed that I'd lost.
I think that for our next, because I know that this one we want to play like all the new scenarios. Because I know a lot of people saying, "Are you going to modify
Seize the Prize?" Yeah, for questions that saying, "Are we going to modify Seize the Prize?" No, because we're just playing the Desolation Smile. But want to make it accessible to everyone, and don't want people to have to go, "Why have you included this?"
But what we will do probably in the future, I think it's a good idea, is we're probably going to go through various scenarios
and tweak them.
and tweak them, and we're going to come up with what we believe is a really fair rules pack that doesn't give either side an advantage from the start.
Yeah.
You know, it's fair snub that are interesting.
They're interesting, yeah.
But no one has got a clear advantage or disadvantage from the off.
Just because you've rolled
poorly,
too high, maybe even.
Yeah,
like
or even, you know, even because you've got like a massive army or an all-hero army that you somehow benefit. We're going to try and
sort it out.
Try and sort it out a little bit. So if that's something that interests you and you think that that's a good idea, comment below in your questions.
Yeah.
Okay, next up we got 19. And we're in good position to answer this one. 19 Mark F91. Hey guys, I understand why Alfred is taking a lot of army lists now, but do you think it will get to a stage where tournament organisers ban him as a playable character? Plus, do you think that Games Workshop will consider giving him a rule that it can be only included in the force if the Master of Lake Town is there as well, just like Grima is too with Saruman?
Yeah.
And he's put HSBG, guys. Happy Strategy Battle Gaming. I like that. That's cool.
HSBC.
HSBG. Yeah, it's hard to say. HSBG. I don't think they will.
No. We thought about it originally because we all theorised Alfred's horrendously broken. He's going to ruin the game.
He's not.
He's not at all.
I'm not going to bring him again.
For 20 points, I'll probably bring him because he works very well with Legolas.
Yeah, I suppose.
But he's not a game changer. He's not the game changer we expected him to be.
No.
There were only 5 of him at the tournaments. Just gone. General Sorcery.
We thought there'd be more.
I thought there'd be like 12.
Yeah, we.
I was like 1/3 of people will bring him.
I had a fabulous idea. We've got a great group of friends now going to tournaments now. I mean, it is really good. It is the best thing.
Yeah, about tournaments.
Best thing. We had a great idea. It was like, just like what you do, like if you have a game of poker or something, you'll do like 5 a buy-in, and I was like, right, 5 a buy-in, but we all put a number down how many Alfreds.
Yeah.
Now, out of the 5 of us in the room,
4 of us are taking him.
So we thought, going to be loads.
It's gonna be loads.
What did you go for?
I went for 12. I went for the highest.
Yeah, you were the most cynical.
Yeah.
Which is usually the case, actually. Like if you look at how many people are going to come to our tournament, Jamie. Nah, we'll be doing well if we get 20. 30 would be good. We got like nearly 50. I put 8. And Damien won it because there were only 6.
6 at the entire tournament.
No, there was 5.
There was 5 and he said 6.
And he said 6, so he was the closest.
Yeah.
So he was the least cynical. And I wonder if that is because he's brought Alfred before and thinks the same. I don't think it's going to get to a point where, now that I've used him in a tournament, where everyone's going to use him. I don't think it's going to happen.
He isn't that great. For 20 points, he's a steal, and if you've got 20 points spare, he is worth taking, I think.
But I don't think it's worth building your list around him.
No, he's sort of tagged on as an extra, isn't he?
Yeah. No, I don't think, now that I've used him, I don't think you think, alright, well what I can do is I'll bring this.
I'll drop a rider and put in Alfred.
No, I would never do that again.
No.
Never do that again. Ever. Ever. And I think that what will happen is at first you're going to get lots of players trying to use him, and then they're going to realise it's not that great.
It's not as useful as you think.
Don't get me wrong, I mean, I'm sure it had a bit of an influence because of your type of army.
Yeah. But
did it
really? Alfred did have a big sort of... In one of the games, he did save it with Baragon. I got Baragon up to 4 might, and when Nick ran in with her last point of will, Nature's Wrath got a 6. So resist with Baragon, he's got 1 will point, rolled like a 2, and I was like, 4 might.
She might as well.
It was free, I didn't have it anyway, so 4 might, and we'll stop your last point of Nature's Wrath.
Yeah, and I had a similar situation in one of the games against Sam Page, where I heroic combated. I charged in against 2 Orc Spearmen, heroic combating with my Rivendell Knight to get in on the shade.
Yeah.
And I think I'd got him up to 5.
5 might, yes. 2 plus 3.
Yeah. I think I got him up to 5 might, and I effectively had to blow that. You know, use the heroic combat. I had to blow it to either kill both or to win the fight.
It is to win the fight, isn't it?
I think I had to do it to win the fight because the shade was still around. Then I had to do it in order to get to beat the shade. Was it to beat the shade or was it to get wounds on the shade? And I've got 2 wounds on the shade, and I just blew all of his might to get that far.
Well,
and it was worth it. But would I do that again? No. And I think that a lot of players aren't going to build their lists around Alfred.
You sort of like you try once.
Yeah, I'm not that fussed. It's not as fun.
No.
Not as fun. So I don't think it's broken.
No. I don't think Tio's going to start banning him. He's not all that.
No, I don't expect to see. You might do it first while people are sort of go, oh, well, let's try this combination. Yeah. This is totally broken. I'm going to use it. But listen, if you play strategy battle game or wargaming in the right way, ultimately, really, you don't necessarily want to be playing players who are looking for those lists. Yeah. Actually, maybe you just want to have some fun.
Yeah.
A really poignant point to end that question.
Yeah.
Next up,
Kevin Demansky. Hi guys, sorry for the confusing question last week. Totally my bad. Funny note to start. I took attendance in one of my classes last week, and a student's named Rohan, and I said Rohan like James, and the whole class laughed. And for the rest of the day, the whole class said his name.
Hang on, you're a teacher. You said that to the students, and then they bullied him as a result. Ooh. Isn't it Rowan when it's...
Rowan, yeah, I think so.
I think it's Rowan, isn't it? I think Rowan's a really nice name, but I could never do that now. I could definitely not do it with a H. I like the name Rowan. If I ever have little bibble bubbles.
My question this week is, if you were playing a game, it was 2v2, 500 points each, what would be your ideal army list to play with?
Ideal allied army to play with, and why? Oh,
more elves. More elves. Just more elves.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You wouldn't be allied with the Rohan?
No, more elves.
This not happening if there's the doubles?
Maybe.
You get to experience what it's like to be backed up by...
I'll be backing you. You charge in, I'll just be like, space support, 5-5.
We'll just shoot.
Shoot everything out of them.
Yeah, that's right. We'll shoot them, they'll come in and they'll be like, boom. Done.
Yeah.
Sons of Ale in your face. Knight of Pelennor. Who would I have backing me up? Rohan. What suits allied army to suit Rohan? Well, originally I wanted the whole Grey Company Rohan ally thing.
They probably would work quite well, to be honest.
I think so. I'm thinking of including some mounted Rangers of the North in my 1,000 point list.
That's worth it.
Definitely. I've got them as well.
Yeah.
Got the conversions. They need painting.
P.S. My reference last week was to Orifer, who was the father of Thranduil, and led the Wood Elves at the Battle of the Last Alliance and died there whilst leading an attack without the support of the main force, almost like the charge of the Light Brigade in the Crimean War.
Yep.
Keep up the great work and can't wait to see some of these products you guys are thinking of coming out with. Cheers from the Great White North.
Where's Kevin Demansky live?
It must be Canada, the Great White North.
Yes, sorry. Whoa, I'm not as clued up on Canada as you. Yeah. From the Great White North. Thank you very much, Kevin. Thanks for all your support as always. And we'll let you know about some of the GBHL merchandise soon that you can support us with. Okay, so next up we've got Jeremy Smith. Odd question this week. I recently got an autographed photo of Johnny Depp from my wife. Now she is asking for a signed photo of you two for our game room. Is that possible?
I'm sure it is.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Hang on, how would she like this photo? Like, what kind of photo does she want?
Stylish.
Does she want us to dress up?
Blue steel.
Does she want us to dress up? Does she want us to dress down? We can do the whole fireman thing, you know. We can do the whole. We could get the white beaters out, or it could just be me and Jamie like moving a model each, or.
Oh, hey.
That's not a bad idea. I guess all that we would maybe
you could
ask
sell
for.
them.
Why not? It might be a good.
For 1,000 people.
Why not?
Yeah.
Who here would be interested? Sure.
We're not at that level yet, I don't think.
People might want to do it just to support us, and if they want to do it, why not? And if it helps us, why not? I mean,
we could do it as a Kickstarter. That could be like the £1 donation. You get like a JPEG image of us with a signed photograph.
That's a good idea. Like, yeah, I think it should be a proper printed photograph, though.
For more money, because we've got to pay for them to get it printed.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, you know, and we can sign that, and we can do an individual message.
Yeah, for more money.
Do an individual message. I don't see why we wouldn't be able to do that. Let's have a little
we
think.
We can get that sorted.
Talk to us more about what you...
email the I Love Wargaming.
As for an SBG question, could a Warg Rider get his mount shot out from under him and remount the Warg later in the game? Hobbit Rule says no because the mount is... skittish. But if the Warg can pass its courage test and attack, then why the heck not?
In Lord of the Rings, actually I've not checked this in the Hobbit rules, but in the old Lord of the Rings rules, so I'm going back to the previous edition here, any orc, elf or man could ride a horse or warg. Men and elves couldn't ride wargs, but and orcs could ride horses, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Different things. So, while wargs couldn't be mounted, but a warg could. So let's say you killed a rider on one and the warg of the other. if those two linked up, they could ride each other.
Right, okay.
Well, they couldn't ride each other, but they all could ride. They all could ride the war. Let's not go down that path. Under the Hobbit rules, I'm not too sure though if that is still possible.
Yeah, I don't think it is it?
I don't think so.
If you say in the Hobbit rules say no because the mount is skittish, then Hobbit rules say no. So if the walking past go and attack, then why the heck not? Because the rules say.
That's what the game designers wanted it to be.
Okay, next up, the fabulous, and he deserves
Victorious.
The victorious, the fabulous. We love this guy. Yeah. We love this guy.
Mr. Damien O'Byrne.
Damien O'Byrne! Mr. Ferrell himself.
Yeah.
That's right. Mr. Hungry Eyes.
Hungry Eyes. So he's quoting us here, or quoting you here.
Well, why are we giving him the congratulations?
Well, he won the Shadow and Sorcery event.
And as a result,
picked me into 3rd place.
For the League 2013.
It's fine, I'm going to win 2014.
Very well deserved as well. Very well deserved. Good work, mate. And thanks so much for letting us stay.
Yeah,
we had a great night.
Cut the cost down. I had a great night.
That was the highlight of the weekend for me.
Yeah, that game of Bugman's was amazing.
It was so much fun.
See a dwarf slip on vomit to his table with 2 beers to win the game.
It was just fun and silly, not competitive. It's just nice to play games like that.
Yeah. So, quoting us here.
Good news.
Yes.
Steve bringing Deadliest Warband stuff.
Yes.
So we've got Arnold.
Yes.
Woo.
So the person who wins, so he's quoting us, the person who wins Shadow and Sorcery will lose a game. Yeah, definitely.
He did. He won all 5.
He won all 5. So
brilliant.
I should not have helped him theorise. No, I should have helped him theorise how to beat Ed's hobbits. I did this quite a lot. I'm realising.
You did, and you do give a lot away to people.
Yeah.
But that's because you're a good guy.
And I want people to beat my competitors.
You do,
in 2014.
You did the right thing. Best Q&A ever.
Smiley face. Sorry to disappoint, boys. Great video as always, and it was great to see you both over the weekend. My question is Shadow and Sorcery related. Given that there were 5 Alfreds at the tournament, at least 3 of whom were with players who were going to the tournament to be highly competitive, do you think that it's strange none of them placed in the top 4? Joe H's VPs were miscalculated and he was actually 3rd and Dave 4th. Why do you think that was? Did you guys roll poorly for him, or is he just not as bad as everyone thinks? Surely he still is worth the 20 points, which is almost certainly 3 might minimum. Lots of questions, but obviously it's all basically around the 1 point. Keep it up the good work.
Keep up the good work, guys. Do you know what I think the best way of looking at him is? Now having done that tournament, you can obviously theorise after.
Yeah.
I think the way to now think about him, because I've just said, haven't I? I don't think he's all that. I wouldn't build my list around him. Would you spend like that 20 points for that? It's like spending 20 points extra for the hero, and
yeah. Well, for me, for Legolas, I'd happily pay. So
because he's cheapish, isn't it?
I'd have to pay 110 points base to have a 6-might Legolas.
Yeah, of course you would.
Because that sounds good.
But then I guess on some heroes that you're already spending more on.
Did you take?
Like, is a Rohan captain really worth? I know that he might have, but sorry, not Rohan captain.
Rivendell Knight captain.
Is he going to be worth? Because he's already quite expensive. Is he worth?
Is he worth 110 points?
110 points
with 5 might?
No,
probably not.
Probably not. So.
Same with your combat heroes. I mean, if you're spending your might when you get close into combats, you don't really want Alfred around there. He's good with the shooting hero.
Yeah, I just think that I think that people were curious, just like you were, Damien. You know, you did the Alfred and Bomber thing at Mansfield because we're curious, aren't we? Is it worth
In
it?
theory, it's a great combination and could win your games. In practice, not so much because you rely on the dice. I rolled sort of just average with him. I had one game where I rolled 6. Oh, I could get 3 might here, 1 might.
1, yeah.
Next turn, I've rolled a 6. Oh, I could get 3 might again. Oh, 1 might. So I, in some respects, rolled badly with him. I didn't steal anyone's might, as far as I remember. So there was that bonus, I guess.
Yeah. In my domination game, I rolled 1 for the first one, followed by a 5, so went down to 0, and then 1, and then 1. So it's 20 points wasted.
Yeah.
So I think that the reason why we saw 5 from people who've been competitive at this one.
It's you know they're going to take him, so you'll take him. It's sort of like the Cuban Missile Crisis, where it's like it's like you've got nukes, we'll get nukes. Yeah. Now we're on equal playing field again.
But I don't think it's going to happen again.
No, I don't think.
I think it's because it's the first sort of really competitive
event. So
and I'm surprised there weren't more.
Yeah, I am genuinely.
And as a result, I feel ashamed and dirty for taking him. But I don't really, because it didn't do anything.
I don't. Yeah, people are like, well, that's what you get for taking Alfred. It's like, well, screw you. You've taken 4 monsters, Joe. At 350 points. Screw you. I'm not taking Alfred.
Yeah.
Yeah, Joe. I called you out.
He's biotic green, and he did very well. Good for him.
He did well.
He gave me a nice biotic green Rohan Royal Guard that got off eBay as well.
Yeah. Next question is from Jack Pellins. Sorry I didn't ask a question last week, but here's my question for this week. If I use the Gladrian Warriors and upgrade them using Caliborn to Courage 6, can I then use a Warhorn to reach Courage 7? Yeah.
Good stacks.
Yeah. They're coming from 2 different sources, so you can get the Courage 7 elves. Is it worth it? Probably not, to be honest. I think Courage 7 is worth it. Not when you invest in sort of 25 points for the horn, and then sort of, I think it's like an extra 1 or 2 points per model. Right. Just take guard to the Gladrian Court and then get a Warhorn. They're Courage 7 natural. Then.
Yep, okay, Morgan Kant. Thank you so much, guys, for reigniting my love for the hobby and making these wonderful videos. It's a pleasure. We love it. My question this week is gambling a good hero or not? Cards.
Yeah, you can't say this
He's fight 4.
Yeah.
And he's only defense 6. Okay, and there are heroes that you are going to use before him in Rohan lists.
Yeah.
You know, why would you not take Erkenbrand? Aomer is definitely your best hero.
In either form, probably you'd take Aomer over him.
Yep. You know, and even an Eowyn even, because she's cheap.
She suddenly gets cheap. She's cheap enough to jump in, and she's got the same amount of might. The
thing is, yeah, the fight 4 of some of the Rohan named heroes is just beyond me. You know, yeah.
It's from when it was originally in the game, and near enough everything was fight 3.
Right.
You had Orcs fight 3, Men will fight 3, Goblins fight 2, Rohan fight 3, Tirith fight 3, and that was all you had really. So fight 4 became a thing sort of later in the game that fight 4 was everyone was bumped up to that, and that's when Rohan took the big hit.
Named heroes that aren't fight 5 for a Manish force.
Yeah.
Not fantastic. Now, and he's got his banner, but then he becomes very expensive really.
The banner is great in sort of like your 1,000 point force when, you know, then Eomer, essentially, once he's burnt his might out, becomes a mighty hero in the fact that he gets a point of might every turn for being near gambling. And that's when you start to see gambling.
But he's got to start in base contact.
Within 3 inches.
Is it not
it's not base contact, no.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. So gambling at lower points cost, he's not worth it. Straight up. When you get to 1,000 points and you can afford him
with a banner,
with his royal banner, then he becomes worth it because he makes your other heroes better. And
he's not in my 1,000 point list though.
I don't know. Yeah, well, I suppose if you got range to the north, it sort of counteract that because you've got the might points.
Yeah. See, I'd rather. That's the thing. I would rather have the
have you got Meriadoc in your list? You should well put Meriadoc in your list.
I've not got him, but I know I've got the model, but I've not got him in my list. I don't think.
I think you should well put him in your list.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
Just because he's fun.
Mine's an all-mounted list.
Yeah, you can put on pony. Cheap drops, cheap heroic. Get him. Meriadoc, captain of the Shire, gets 2 might. Oh. And it's relatively themed. Battle of Pelennor. Just have Eowyn in there.
Let's do it.
It's well good.
Let's do it. So he's not.
Take some hobbits along as well.
He's not in my 1,000. I would rather have 4 mounted Rangers in the north at the same price.
Yeah.
And the 4 might not having to.
And it's 4 drops then.
4 drops and 4 strength 4 models. They've got fight 4 as well, so they match
there's no bonus there.
So there's more attacks. There's more everything.
Yeah.
I'd rather.
And 4 more bows with might. Yeah. So no for small points. Yes for big points. Though there are better options out there.
Graham Sargent.
Hello, nice to meet you all. My first tournament in Finchley last week. That was the East Grinstead one, was it?
Did you meet Graham?
Oh no, West Finchley was there. I can't remember.
Graham, he won the prize for the Necromancer by default, although it was quite cool because no one else did it.
I remember I wanted to do something for that, but I didn't.
I thought about it.
I actually
too busy.
Did we meet face to face? I don't think
I did.
I can't remember if I did.
Lovely guy.
again, I've said this in the past, I'm not a name person, I'm a faces person. I'll check.
You'll see him on the Facebook a lot.
Yeah, so I'll check the Facebook, see if I remember your face. So, great fun and learnt loads, and my 2 friends also enjoyed it. That's
Are you
great.
all coming to Stockport? That's what we want to know, because I'd love to catch up.
Anywho, my question this week, what are your thoughts on how, as a dwarf force, I can combat being outmanoeuvred and sniped by longer range bow fire? Gandalf. Gandalf the Grey will be your friend there. If you're looking for a straight up bang solution that can be implemented in your army straight away, Gandalf will do it with his plus binding light that forces them to come to you. Other than that, heroic marching is a big thing there. Sit up on the line, heroic march forward into them.
Yeah. I mean, it depends really on the scenario, doesn't it? There's certain scenarios which are going to benefit you where there's like a static thing that you've got to go for.
Yeah.
And then some which might be a bit tougher. Anything where you've got to divide your, usually small dwarf force isn't a good thing.
No. Banners would be decent, that way you can strengthen your line in parts. So like the King's Champion with 2 banners is a great addition to a dwarf force. It means you can spread your line sort of into a 1 thin line and keep the banners there for 2 strikes to win the fight.
So Graham, hopefully we'll see you soon. Hope that answers your question, buddy, and congratulations on your Necromancer model. One good riddance. Sorry for neglecting to ask a question for the 3 to 4 previous Q&As.
We can forgive him, he shares every video.
He does, he's great. After hearing your opinions on the High Elves and some amount, admittedly inappropriately small amount of vacillation, I decided to start slowly building a High Elven force and making it work. My question, that's the best thing to do. Find an army that you love the fluff of and try and make it work. My question pertains to the
Noldorian Exiles.
What battlefield role would you give them? I'm gravitating towards Noldorin exiled archers.
Yeah.
Yes, as they will benefit the most from the higher movement, ergo manoeuvrability. Yeah,
Yeah,
then you're moving
4 inches move and shoot is pretty decent, to be honest. Also, I've often thought of them having, with throwing daggers, getting the 8-inch movement and then a 6-inch throwing dagger. You can sort of hang around sort of very on the flanks and charge in long ways.
Yep.
It also means you can run away quicker as well.
Yep. Yep, I would agree with that, definitely.
Definitely the ranged options on them though.
Next up.
We got, is that Carlos?
Yeah. Carlos Rigg.
Carlos Rigg. First time asking a question, I am Rigg1313 from the One Ring, and I'm trying to make up a force entirely or near entirely of archers for a 1,000-point list. Though even if all archers still needs to function in combat well enough, so spears are a must, and as well as a decent model count that is not too low, or maybe a couple of heroes that could preserve the low defense models and give a combat advantage. So far, this is my idea for the list. Okay, Eladan and Elra here with heavy armour, elf bows and horses, and 6 ranges of honour with spears. Malbeth the Seer with 10 ranges of honour with spears. Ranger of the North with spear and horse, 1, 2, 3 of them. 2 ranges of the North with spear. And then Thranduil with armour and elf bow, 12 Mirkwood Rangers, and Legolas with armour, 9 Mirkwood Rangers. The idea would be deploy back as far as possible, and then run to Malbeth and his Arnor Rangers, and 2 Rangers of the North with Thranduil and Mirkwood Rangers, so that there is spear support for the elves. Then there's Thranduil's Nature's Wrath and Aura of Dismay, in conjunction with the 5+ save, makes them quite sort of tasty, really. Mm-hmm. The twins Rangers of Arnor will deploy with Legolas and his Mirkwood Rangers for spear support. And the twins will run off with the 2 Mighty Rangers of the North to be a flanking force and make them kind of killy. Any advice? Oh, so that's the general plan. If you guys can think of a better force or any adjustments or change of game plan, that would be sweet. Any advice is welcome. P.S. Sorry for being so long. Summary: what is the most effective all-shooting force?
Big question.
Very big question. With something like this, I'd be tempted to get in someone with cast blinding light. What cast blinding light does is it makes your shooting all that much more potent, because it forces the enemy to come to you, because they can't shoot you back and will waste a bunch of their points if they've got bows. On the flip side, let's say you played against sort of my force at 1,000 points with, I've got Gladriel and I think I've got about 25 bows or something, so you outbow me, so in a regular shooting match you've got the advantage there. When I cast Blinding Lights, even though you've got more bows, it swings hugely back in my advantage that all your bows are hitting on 6s. So if you're going for a shooty themed force, getting like Galadriel for, I think Círdan's the cheapest way to get cast Blinding Light with 90 points.
Yeah, we've got him for that.
Yeah. Then it's Galadriel, then it's Gandalf. Gandalf gives you more options, and Galadriel's a good hero with 3/3/3.
Yep.
Or 3/6/3, and other magic spells. But that's what's going to give you the edge, basically, is someone who can prevent your force taking losses through shooting. And it is that sort of whole nuke thing that I talked about earlier, where they've got it, so you need it. That would be my biggest advice. And what you drop for that? Maybe drop the twins, to be honest. The twins and those rangers, you're losing 2 very good heroes, but if you include Gandalf, who is the same points as them, 6 Rangers of Honor boost, potentially.
You're basically telling him to take out all of the Grey Company element.
No. Keep Malbeth and the 10 Spears and the Rangers of the North. Because the Rangers of the North are great as drops, so you can position your archers and things where you want them to be.
Mm-hmm.
But the Eldar and Elra here, you could lose them for Gandalf, who becomes your force leader.
Mm-hmm.
Very hard to kill, and will benefit the force greatly. And can neuter.
Gandalf will be my
threats.
force leader at 1,000 points.
Yeah.
Yep.
Definitely worth it. Definitely.
We've got that lovely Gandalf the White model in there as well. You've seen it, it's nice.
So that would be my advice for this force.
I would agree with all of that. Next up, we've got Mark Bibby. What do you think of the Golden King of Harad? Is he worth the points? Think about making a warband with him and some Abrakan Guard.
Yeah, he's great.
Is he the one who does that thing where he buys out heroes, effectively?
Yes. So they roll courage. He reduces their dice score with his will, and then they increase it with their will to all might. And if they don't reach 10, obviously they run away. So he can sort of one-shot heroes once the force is broken.
Wow.
As if me with Legolas, I roll a 7, which is the average dice. With his courage 6, it goes up to 13. If he's still got 6 will, blow all his will on it, brings me back down to sort of 7. And I would assume at that point, maybe I've spent my will because you've got a Nazgul in the force, who's maybe sapped that, so I'll be forced to spend the might, and if I've not got that, then my generals run away.
Ouch.
He is a good model. He's also a banner for Haradrim.
Right, yeah, that's good.
He's 4 attacks, 4 wounds.
It's expensive.
Just over 100, I believe.
Well, that's...
For a Haradrim force, it's not a lot you're paying for him. And also his 4 attacks, he's fight 4, but they've got the +1 to wound on them.
Right.
So, yeah, he is a good model.
The Abrakan Guard are quite good, aren't they?
Abrakan Guard are good. The fact they can be supported
Chop.
now. Yeah, chop. Strength 4 and +1 to wound is nasty. Like many heroes.
Nasty do. Thanks very much, Mark Bebe.
Yeah.
Next up.
Next up we got Liam F. I'd like to start by saying that it was great to meet you guys and everyone else at Shadow and Sorcery at the weekend. It was a great event and I'm looking forward to Stockport even more now.
Fantastic. We're looking forward to seeing you again, buddy.
Yeah. My question this week is, do you find that with Desolation of Smaug scenarios that mobility is a key factor? Yes, very much so.
Yeah.
Especially with your Force leader.
This is why Rohan, all mounted, is really good at the new scenarios.
Yeah.
It's really good.
Brilliant. Especially Seize the Prize.
Yep, seize the prize.
I think...
Rescue.
Yeah, for my 600-point one for Throne of Skulls, I'm definitely going to throw in a cavalry contingent.
Really?
You have to for Seize the Prize. You got no other choice, really.
Interesting. What do you go for? What are you going to go for? Oh, we'll talk about that another time.
Well, it's random opponents. I'm not too fussed. Either, I think I've been tossing up my options. Either just throw in a couple of Galadrim Knights.
I thought you might do that.
Just because they're in there anyway.
And they've got nice movement.
12 inches. Yeah.
Sons of Alstar.
Yeah. Or
hopefully we won't play each other.
Yeah.
For that one.
Or the other
Sons
option.
of Galadrim.
The other option that I wrote in my list was Eowyn and 6 regular riders.
Okay.
So an extra
And
7
you're mixing
models.
it.
Sorry?
And then you're mixing it in.
But then I'm mixing the force, which is why I just went, that's good, actually, now. I've got to stay this side of it.
I think you should stay.
Yeah.
I think it's the best way to go with...
I don't know. Yeah. Maybe. Yeah.
I don't know.
I'm not sure.
So yeah, look forward to seeing you there.
Yeah.
I would agree with that, Liam F. Okay, next up we've got WK Valida. Hey guys, I'm a huge fan of Trolls, especially PJ's version as depicted in the films. Yeah, they're good.
Yeah.
The Isengard Troll and the Mordor Troll are two of my most prized miniatures. I have 4 trolls, and all of them have a hidden hobbit somewhere in the miniature.
That's cool.
Usually about to get squished.
That's cool.
That is cool. So I was thinking, is an all-troll army feasible? Yeah. I would imagine it to be similar to an all-Ent army, but I heard that trolls are better. So any comments would be appreciated. Also, what is the smallest force that could work model-wise if a troll army didn't?
The smallest force that can work are sort of the Fell Beast force and the hero forces.
Mm-hmm.
The good hero forces, with Glorfindel, twins, Aragorn, sort of, and Gandalf for your 5. As for a troll force, with the new trolls, troll forces are viable. Back when it was just sort of your Mordor troll and the Isengard troll, it was not so much. I'd definitely take your Mordor trolls over your Isengard because you want to fight 7, just to force
Heroes
sort
of heroic strike.
your standard heroes to heroic strike, yeah. Fight 6, you can sort of go in there, maybe you've got an Elven Blade knocking around somewhere, and be relatively confident that you're going to win that fight. So yeah, fight 7 all the way. And Sneezy Troll's great as well.
Yeah, go for it. Go for it.
Try it. Well, Sam, what's his name? Joe came 3rd with the all hero monster force, so yeah, very possible.
It is indeed. Okay, so next up we've got Sam Page.
Sam Page, great bit as always, guys, and a pleasure to finally meet you, James.
Play me, not meet me.
Play you, James. Even if you spent the whole game running away.
It made sense. I killed the spider.
We talked about this, yeah.
We helped him with my tic-tacs.
Yeah. I hadn't realised Stockport is only a few weeks away. Best get cracking on my army list. Yeah.
We didn't even realise until Shadow and Sorcery, and someone said, yes, 3 weeks away. We're like,
yes, it is.
what do we need to do, Jamie?
Yeah. On the subject of Stockport, have you considered modifying the Season of Prize victory conditions? Everyone I've spoken to agrees that adding in leader and breaking VPs will make it 10 times better.
We agree.
We agree, but we're going to make it accessible for everyone who can just buy the source book and play, basically.
On this occasion.
On this occasion, and don't need to read the rules pack and read the changes and be aware of everything, just to avoid confusion with lots of the newer players who we reckon are going to be at our tournament.
Yeah, this is going to be a big, fun tournament. It's the first one, going to be great. So we're just going to go with what Games Workshop have given us, and then in the future we'll start.
We'll modify stuff.
We'll modify stuff. For balance, for the tournament scene.
Yeah.
And it was great to play you as well, buddy. You played the game the right way. Have I told you what he did?
Yes, yeah.
He,
it was on the board with the water and tried to drown the spider.
Yeah, which was a great idea. The spider didn't die, which obviously gave me the shooting, and I killed it because I've got all those bows on it, which means that he had to come to me. And but it was funny at the end. I didn't realise that I'd killed his leaders. That's why I was worried about going in on him, because I thought, well, if he breaks me and kills my leader, you know, oh no, you know, it could end up being a draw.
Yeah, the only thing that a man in his position can do is throw himself in the river.
That's what he did. He just started climbing up and started chucking him in to deny me, because I was running away, to deny me the opportunity to kill him, which was great fun. I really like playing Sam. He's a really good guy.
And the final question.
Camille Damansky! One more question, if I may ask. My friend will visit me at the weekend, and I want to show him a Hobbit game. Good stuff. Have you got any scenarios for 1 versus 1 versus 1? Because there are going to be 3 of us, and we want us to play together. Thanks, and you'll never walk alone.
Yeah. What I would suggest, if this is his first time playing the game, is that if you've got the Fellowship of Thorin's Company and a force, is split that sort of Fellowship of Thorin's into a group of heroes, and 2 of you work against 1.
Yeah, good idea.
That way you stick with 2 forces, you don't get confused in rules queries, and it all plays very nicely, and you get to play the big heroes that you want to play with.
Yeah, if you do, that's a good idea. Or you could pick up on what our suggestion was before, which was do something like Lords of Battle.
Where it's just...
But it might be better to sort of 2 of you against 1 rather than 1 versus 1 versus 1.
So one of you can help him with the rules and say, actually, well, if you charge him in, you can do this.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be the best way. Just
let him win.
Just don't get too involved in his force and start playing the game for him. That'd be my suggestion.
Good stuff. And we've come towards the end of a mammoth.
Yeah, let's do this for under an hour. Nearly 2 hours.
It's been mammoth. Our last one was very short though, so I guess
49 comments this time.
Just a shame that this is going to take me a whole day to upload. A whole day. So I'm going to head up tonight and start uploading Q&A. Because we've got stuff to Saturday, haven't we?
Yeah.
So guys, we hope that you've enjoyed another week's edition of Speak Friend and Question. You know what we need to do, don't you?
You need to do a scouring of some sort.
We need to do...
I'm going to leave you to do a scouring because I'm bursting for the toilet.
Ooh.
You can surprise me.
I will surprise you.
I'll get up.
Let's surprise Jamie. What should we do? Okay guys, so we're going to do this week's edition of The Scouring of YouTube. The Scouring of YouTube. That's right guys, okay? So on the last one, I did ask if you could all go onto Lord of the Rings Strategy Battle Gaming channel, and if you could post onto his channel and obviously say thank you. Obviously I didn't put a link in the video description, and that's why some of you didn't do that. So maybe we just need to put that link up in the description. That would be a good idea first of all, so I'm going to put his link up. So those of you that didn't scour the video that I told you to, you can go and scour that. What I'm going to do for the scouring this week is the following, and this is a bit of a sneaky mission for you all. Okay, I would love all of you to go onto the Mini Wargaming website, okay, and every Friday you're going to do this on Friday, okay, you're going to keep an eye out for it on Friday. So this comes up on Sunday. On the following Friday, at some point, Matt from miniwargaming.com will release his Sit and Talk, which is his version of the Speak Friend and Question, or the Speak Friend and Question is our version of his Sit and Talk maybe, where he just talks about anything. Well, what you want to try and do is try and be some of the first people to leave comments, because he does get so many questions, he doesn't get through them all. And let's not do this as spam. I don't want it to be spamming him, because he's got lots to get through, but I do want you to get on there and ask him a Hobbit related question, and ask him if they would just do like a one-off battle report of some kind. Say, listen, we've been watching the GBHL YouTube channel, they've told us to support miniwargaming.com, and we would love to do that, especially if you could do some battle reports, even if it was just a one-off. It's got to be really genuine, it can't be spammy, you know, and just get on there and say that you love this channel, and then we've told you to go and support miniwargaming.com, and would they consider ever doing a Hobbit strategy battle game in video, even if it was just a one-off, and that maybe you would even consider Vault membership if they did do Hobbit battle reports, something along those lines. Okay, so the rules are clear. Sometime this Friday, don't leave it on the last one, leave it on the one that he will post up on Friday, and you're going to put on there as early as possible. You're going to comment and put that message in. So that has been this week's edition of The Scouring of YouTube. The Scouring of YouTube. And with that, that brings us to the end of this week's Q&A. Remember to ask a question next week. Continue to support your Hobbit hobby, and happy strategy battle gaming.